welcome to If These Walls Could Talk. I'm Wendy Stuart.
And I am Tym Moss.
And we are so happy to have you here with us today.
We are.
Look, Tim and I are twinnies today. We're in tie-dye.
Yes, we are.
Is it spring fever?
Yes. Oh my God, it feels like springtime out there in the middle of February.
Well, they said it was 57 degrees.
It was 63 when I walked in.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
oh my
gorgeous.
God. So how was your week? I have so much to share.
I honestly don't remember. I have to check my calendar.
I want you to check your calendar
while
I ramble on about how fabulous Brian Alejandro's show was here at PANGEA. He was absolutely incredible. We were sold out, which I love. He is an amazing performer. I highly encourage you to come back and see him again. We'll have another show in the spring. You all have to go on PANGEA's website and check their calendar because they are moving and shaking here. And as a matter of fact, we also had somebody's fingers were in front of the lens.
Someone's fingering us.
Tim has a lot of wishful thinking on this show. But also we had Catherine Schuler's fashion. What does she call it? Fashion the right way or fashion runway the right way.
Yes.
And it's a very diverse and inclusive fashion show. And we did this brunch fashion show right here at PANGEA with designers. One was from Ivory Coast. One was from the Ukraine, and she is actually going to be on the show. Her story would blow your mind. I mean, that is the beauty of being here, the kinds of people we meet in the world that we get to live in. The Explorers Club this week, we had people from the Psychedelic Institute, as well as psychologists, psychiatrists, and we did a whole lecture on microdosing, MDMA,
and that's kind of like a small dose of like LSD.
It's
or
small
something
dose,
to help trigger therapeutic.
It's what I learned, and I'm talking about this because it was such a big eye opener for me.
Just one second.
Okay,
We've got a massive echo going on.
We have an echo going on. Echo.
There we go.
What I've learned is people have really benefited. We had a couple of veterans in the audience who suffered from PTSD, which were being given these therapies, and how well they work. And I say this all the time, and I said that during their Q&A. I really believe with what people have been through with the pandemic, we have to take the kid gloves off.
Absolutely.
All right, and make these therapies available for people. This is not about people trying to get high. This is about they actually change the pathways in your brain.
Well, in my guesstimation, or my theory, is what it does is it takes you outside of your body.
It does,
so that you can look at your problems from
another perspective.
Yes, but without judgment.
Right.
And that, to me, is the best way for healing. Well,
that would be
incredible.
Without judgment. And the other thing I learned, without triggering, because keep in mind, so if you just do regular therapies, it can be triggering, right? And you can end up worse than when you started. So a win-win for everybody. And
I would be totally down for that.
I think it was the Psychedelic Institute. I wrote all their information down because it's so interesting, and I'd love to get some of them on our show.
I would love that
to talk about this.
Okay.
Yes. Did you remember what you did?
I found my calendar.
Okay. Here it comes.
The reason is. Okay, well, I went to the urologist the other day.
How was that for you, Tim?
Checked that off. That was actually pleasing. Got a little action there that I hadn't had for a while. Let me see.
It's actually come to that. He makes appointments at his urologist to, like, you know what, this is what everyone has to look forward to.
Just so I can get some sexual stimulation.
Don't judge him.
But later that day, I went to Stonewall for another urology, but But I went to Stonewall to see Velvet Stardust Rock Show. With Jamie Marie, who was on our show. I love that. That was so much fun. And I left there to go over to Bowery Rooftop, which is absolutely fabulous down on Lower East Side, for Malapa's fashion show, and our friend Jay Bresno,
the jewelry guy, right?
Yeah, he supplied the jewelry in that fashion show, and I got to see him. It was absolutely
totally cool.
Then I left there to go to Rebar because Kareem McJagger was having a party that he is
I love Kareem.
Yeah, I do too. Kareem is so fun.
Now wait, Chulo underwear.
And then Saturday night, I covered Chulo fashion show.
See, that's what I remembered. How is that? Don't gloss over that.
Oh, honey.
Talk about
the Chulo. Well, what I saw of them.
But
Chulo underwear is a community-based LGBT or nonprofit organization out of the Bronx. All the money that comes in from that goes right back into the LGBT community. A lot of times for LGBT youth, which I just absolutely love Ricardo for all he does with that. But what he does is he takes these gorgeous, muscly, younger Latin guys and puts them in these really tight underwear and then marches them out in front of us. And this show was very sheer, shall we say?
It was sheer.
You could see right through the underwear.
Wow.
That's my kind of underwear show. It was glorious.
Did the audience go crazy?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, they did go crazy. Wow.
Yes. See, it was so hysterical because Lady Clover Honey was sitting right in front of me down the aisle, and I could see her, and her eyes just kept going like this.
Like one of those
as did mine,
like a bobble doll in the back of a car.
It just kept going like that.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, how cool is it? We had just got done with Fashion Week. I mean, things are moving and shaking here in New York. I am leaving to go on location to do a film, and I don't know. Remember if I told you?
But I don't know.
Right, I'm going to Connecticut. The film is called My Brother's Last Advice, and that's all I'll say about it.
Okay.
It is an amazing true story, very poignant, and of course, I am one of the few comedic characters in a very, I'm always a comedic character in a very serious film about a subject we all need to deal with. I'll just put it that way. So yeah, it's great. It's all like really good. You know, when we are fed creatively, our souls are fed creatively.
Absolutely.
We're the happiest.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I just want to say thank you for tuning into If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts, Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss. And we will be right back with our incredible guest, the wonderful Jesse Lutrel.
Now, we were talking about our souls being fed creatively.
Yes.
Jesse Lutrel, I mean, I have to tell you, I ran into him in my neighborhood, strutting down Lexington Avenue like he was on a runway in Paris, okay? He is, first of all, he's gorgeous. And please don't accuse me of objectifying the male guests. I do that. It's all right. Because most of the male guests we have on here, they want to be objectified, and it's a good thing.
But when you say, what was it that you said about food or what? I can't.
Food for the soul. Food
yes,
for the soul. Food for the soul.
Yeah, the
eye candy and
food.
Be
fed. Well, he is one snack. Let me put it that way.
He is just a snack in that whole potpourri. But he is terribly talented. And I met him for the first time this year. I don't understand why that happened, but I'm glad that I did. He is an actor, a singer. I was going to say dancer, but I prefer to use the word hoofer, as he did in some of his background. And we are thrilled. He has a show coming up at the Triad February 25th. Yeah. It's a Saturday night. It's at 9:30, and I believe there is still just a couple of tickets available because everybody loves Jesse. It's selling out fast. He's a mover. He's a shaker, and he's hot as anything. Welcome, Jesse Lutrel.
Hey, Wendy.
Hello, baby. How are you?
Good.
Slide on over. This is our little.
I haven't seen you in 24 hours.
Oh my God! I couldn't go on. It was like the last 23.
Do you want to tell them?
Barely.
Tell them
well, yeah. I said I ran into Jesse on Lexington Avenue. You know, working it. I'm like, what is he doing in my neck of the woods? I live up there.
Well, firstly,
on the Upper East Side.
If you see Jesse walking down the street, you have to notice him.
You
just have to.
I did, like, immediately. I'm like, wait, that's the guest that's on the show. I'm like, what are you doing up here? Well, Jesse was actually going to meet his Valentine's Day.
I was.
Why don't you tell us about your Valentine's Day, Jesse?
And you were right in front of where they are. My Valentine's Day was my proctologist.
Same here.
Things are looking up these days.
Right.
We both got a little action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
She was kind of looking down when looking up, but
sad.
The good news is everything turned out fine.
Yeah.
The bad news is the canary died.
I'm so sorry for the poor
but
canary.
The
right? But the gerbil.
Lemmy Winks is still
excuse me. This is going to be really bad. Maybe reduced to Richard Gere jokes, okay? God, I knew the two of them would be deadly together. Well, Jesse, we're so excited to have you here. I don't know how you were not on my radar until this year.
I was hiding. No.
Right. You were hiding, and I guess like the show that you're putting together, that Nick Lyon is putting together the biggest VIP. I have to tell you, if they poured water into the Triad Theater, we would sink. That's how big. That's how big this VIP table is.
But it won't be like the Titanic because it won't be dark. What you guys wear to shows. Yes. There's going to be such a reflection.
Beacons of light. Right?
Beacons of light.
We'll be like the Coast Guard.
Yes.
I know. If I know Nick Lyon, he's already putting out like all of his bling. He's got it on his bed, and he's figuring out like what's gonna go with what. As Chi-Chi's gonna come, and I love her. She always blinged out.
Oh my God! And Dorothy Bishop's gonna be
Dorothy Bishop.
Also, her dog Luther got me kicked off. I am in Facebook jail right now because she had posted something about Luther being like gangster or something, and so I said, "Yeah, he will cut a bitch." LOL. And I put B*TCH. They canceled me or put me in Facebook jail for like 48
Tim Moss,
hours.
You're ruining the world
because of inciting violence.
Right. No,
of all people.
Yeah, right. But this is really
Glinda, the Good Witch of the North.
Tim, because we talked about this, and you're like, well, it's not a person, it's a bot, right? But it's still absolutely wrong. They are censoring our freedom of speech, which is all I'll say. It's just wrong, and nothing's being done to challenge it. How can this be okay? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That they can censor people like this.
It's kind of like, we were all those movies about AI taking over our lives.
Thank you very much. It's like happening.
But it's like
Megan.
All these algorithms with everything, and it touches our lives in so many ways that you don't notice. Like even the subway ads, all the images we're bombarded with are based on algorithms, and those algorithms are gentrifying our brains. It's like,
oh my God, I love that brain gentrification. Did you come up with that? Did someone say, Jesse's going to be quoted. Brain
But like it's so hard because there's no nuance anymore to anything. There's everything's black or white thinking because
there's no
our
originality.
There's no idiosyncratic. Anything that's idiosyncratic is looked at like, I don't know how to process that now because everything is so specifically gentrified and put in a category.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to add to your gentrification thing. We're going to get onto this later, but we were talking about all the kids with ADHD that are put on medication, right? That's number one. The kids with creative brains and they're put on medication. Okay.
What is that, Ritalin?
Or they have a few drugs.
Adderall,
Adderall. Well, a lot of the adults we know take Adderall because they like it. But I digress. The thing, honest to God, and you can say, oh, Wendy, you're not a conspiracy theorist, but these cannabis stores that have popped up everywhere, I'm certainly not against it, okay? But how ironic that at this time in our society, it's legalized and these stores are everywhere. You can really and let's face it, you eat gummies. Well, any of us who've eaten gummies, it's like, I eat a gummy. It's like, Jesse knows that.
That's exactly what my face does. You look like that emoji.
Right.
You know that emoji that's like. That was
broken. But I really feel, and no one's talking about it, so I'm bringing it up. That's
I have to tell you about my what was it, a little brownie
episode. Brownie
I was out in Palm Springs doing my cabaret show out there.
Yeah,
and I went to a party in the afternoon, and then I was one of the people that was there was a drag queen that was going to be doing a show downtown that night. So I said, "Oh, I'll come to your show."
Yeah.
Just as I'm leaving the party, they said, "Oh, do you want one of these little brownies?"
And you were hungry.
And,
so.
Well, and no, I knew what it was. And I said, oh my God, I haven't had weed for years. So I said, let me just try it. So I popped one in and they said, okay, it's going to take 45 minutes to hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, whatever. And, I said, should I take another one? Because it was little. No. Okay, fine. So I get home, I shower, I'm texting Robbie. He was my co-star.
Right, from your film, right?
Right. I texted Robbie and I said, yeah, I'll meet you over there. I said, had one of those little brownies, and I'm literally typing this, and I typed,
and it kicked in.
I said, I had one of those brownies, and they said it was supposed to be 45 minutes, but I don't feel. Oh, there it is. No, I literally typed that. I said,
there it is.
Yeah. It's supposed to, but I really don't. Oh, there it is.
It
literally hits you like that. Yeah.
And how long did it last? Like 2 hours?
Oh, the whole night. I'm riding in a cab over, and I'm like, oh my God, it's been years.
I did that with Boudoir LaFleur once.
Oh, with Boudoir LaFleur? Oh, that's a fun person to do that with.
So this is before she was Boudoir. I brought her to Fire Island to do my show, Body. And she had cookies, and I think she got them from Poppy Kramer, actually. And she said, "Here, you want some?" And I was like, "Sure." So I took the cookie and ate the whole cookie. She's like, "No,
you ate the whole
show."
No. This is after the show.
But you ate the whole cookie.
I ate the whole cookie, and she was like, "You were only supposed to take a piece of it." And I was like, "What?" It's it was my first time eating pot. So like an hour later, I was like, "I can't talk. My mouth is stuck to my teeth." And we laughed all night about it.
And you turned into an emoji.
And I turned into an emoji. I did.
We're onto something with these emojis. Yeah. Station identification.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in to If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts, Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss, and our wonderful guest, Jesse Lutrel.
Jesse is here. So I found out Jesse's a Pennsylvania boy.
I am. Wow. Pennsyltucky. I call it
You do, and I call it Pennsyltucky too.
Yeah, we all do. Unless you're in Philadelphia, it's Pennsyltucky.
It is Pennsyltucky in a lot of ways.
You live up near in the Poconos.
So we don't call it that. We call it the Delaware Highlands. And I've been going there for weekends.
Way up in the top corner.
It's where New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania come together in a vortex.
There's a lot of Broadway people who live up there.
They're all great, and they're part of my community because I help run TriVersity. It's an LGBTQ, and my show sprung from that, TriVersity Talk.
Yeah.
But we... our O-U-R.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
the Russian.
Do we have another letter?
There was another letter.
They added another letter you didn't hear about.
Tim was all set with a retort. Oh no, not another letter. But we are really surrounded. I got something today. They're in front of the post office. They have a petition there to bring back patriotism, and they're going to have a big rally in Milford. All right, these are the kinds of things. But I walk out my door on 79th Street today,
and there's in
Manhattan, right across the street in front of the library. All the kids' strollers are in there. The kids are probably in. I'm thinking story hour. Yeah. I see lots of people with rainbow-colored hair, and they've got signs. Drag queen story hour should be allowed. And then I see the opposing group, who is like right next to them with American flags attacking them verbally. And the next thing, somebody throws a bottle, and in seconds, the police are there. I did see them take a couple of the rainbow-haired people, and someone ended up with cuffs. I don't know whether they swung back or whatever, but let's hear it for the rainbow-colored people.
I don't understand why people are so freaking emotional.
What is wrong with people?
Firstly, I just want to know, all these people that are protesting it, what exactly are they doing for the kids' literacy? Are they sitting down and reading stories? The Drag Queen Story Hour is getting kids interested in books and reading.
In a positive way. A little child, you said it.
And those little kids, they don't know the difference between a drag queen and a clown.
You said that, right.
Somebody who, they're just painted up people that make them laugh.
Yeah, it's really silly to me because it's a dumb thing to be emotional about.
Right.
And like all of these like stupid straw man arguments that shouldn't exist, that are created by right wingers, are just to distract these people because they're freaking taking all their money.
Right.
Like they're robbing them blind with the taxes and with the social services. Right. And so they're like, oh, don't look at us like robbing the economy. Look over there. There's a drag queen and they're evil.
Exactly.
And
you know what I mean?
And your child, if they listen to him, is going to grow up to be a drag queen.
No.
I watched all these.
My dad was a hockey player and like tried to like expose me to hockey. Guess who didn't end up a hockey player?
I was just gonna say I watched all these straight people on television in the 60s and 70s, and look at me.
You're wearing your rainbow shirt today. Jesse, when you were growing up, you came from Union County, Pennsylvania. What was the fit like for you growing up?
The fit?
Yeah.
Like me fitting there?
Yeah, like in school and everything. No, because you know what? You're very talented. You're very effervescent. I can't imagine this was all something that came later. It had to be you. How did you?
Right.
Like with the other kids.
Yeah.
So I lived in Hershey for like elementary school, which was kind of fun because
chocolate performers.
And there's like theater there and
okay, so you had some theater and culture.
And then I moved to this little town called Mifflinburg in Union County, which is like in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the state. Mifflinburg.
There's Muhlenberg.
No,
but this is Mifflinburg.
It's near. You know what? It's next to Lewisburg, where Bucknell University is. Do you know?
Okay, where that is? Of course I know Bucknell.
Yeah, so it's right next to that town. And my thing was like, so I got to this town and it was like a time warp because I'm wearing clothes that kids wore in 1989 or whenever it was. And I go to this town and they're dressed like it was 10 years before. Oh, and it was weird like that.
It was weird.
And I heard the word faggot for the first time. And I was like,
how old were you when you heard that word?
Fourth grade.
Right. You didn't even understand. I didn't know what it was.
Right. And the Hershey Highway jokes and stuff because I came from Hershey. But my thing was because I grew up with like very loud Italian family.
Passionate.
Yeah.
You think that's why you talk with your hands,
right,
Jesse?
Exactly. So I wasn't like, there were two ways kids deal with being made fun of, especially gay kids. And one way is they withdraw and they become depressed. And the other way is they become flamboyant in your face and rebel against whatever is happening. And I was the latter. So I got as gay as I could possibly be.
You did?
And I dyed my hair blonde. I wore like see-through black YMLA shirts in school. Like,
if I'm going to be gay, it's going to be with a capital G.
Yeah.
And, no, good for you.
And I was this little skinny thing, but I screamed at these kids and I gave them hell. Like I didn't.
So you,
did you get like any boyfriends, any of the straight guys or the supposedly straight guys?
Not in my school, but at Bucknell.
Yeah.
Okay. You need to
which wasn't legal.
Let him have his fantasy. Let him have it. I've learned to let him have it.
I got the college boys. Yeah. I did. I got the college boys.
But so Jesse, you quote unquote really had the balls to turn around with people that would have bullied you, and you were like,
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm bullying you.
Right. So, yeah. What made you so confident in yourself at a young age?
I don't know. I just didn't care. I think like I didn't. I think it was my grandmother, Nonna Isabella. She was very Nonna in your face. She's like,
you got it from her. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one time we were at Walmart. Me and my cousin were at Walmart. Nonna was visiting my cousin Erica. My cousin Erica, as a joke, gets this big, huge pair of like red, sexy lace panties and throws it in my grandma's car. She's checking out, and Nonna goes, "What's this? I didn't think of this." And my cousin goes, "Oh, they're sexy." He goes, "I don't need underwear to be sexy. I'm sexy naked."
Yeah. What's her name, Nonna?
Isabella. Nonna is Italian for grandma.
Right. Isabella. Yeah. Good for Isabella. Yeah. I totally love that.
So I got it from her.
Yeah, you had to get it from somewhere.
Yeah, I got it from her.
I've talked to so many kids that were bullied, and just went
the withdrawal. That's what happened. I was bullied. Yeah.
Right. So Jesse was just like,
yeah.
I'm making my hair blonde. I'm fangua. No, but you know what? Good for you. Would you call yourself a leader then back in those days? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an ENTJ. Is that ENTJ?
Oh, more letters.
No, it's the personality type. It's a leader type.
Tell us about it.
You take those tests. I forget what it's. Is it Myers-Briggs analysis?
It's not the Rorschach ink blot test.
No. You answer questions and it's. I'm an extrovert and blah, blah, blah. I don't remember what they all stand for, but it's a leadership kind of thing.
Very cool.
And often a leadership is a rebel. And I'm more of the rebel archetype of a leader than, like an executive,
Yes, exactly. Like in normal society.
Right.
CEO Jesse Lutrel, come into my office. Right. We're going to do your review. So was all of this showing up as a kid in terms of you being a performer? When did you realize that you had that spark?
I think I always had it because I was really hyperactive and always did shows for people at home.
You were doing shows at home.
It wasn't until like 8th grade when I finally like told my parents. I was like, I want to be a performer.
You said it,
yeah, because I was always taking piano lessons and singing lessons, and everyone assumed I'd be a music teacher. Well, hoped I'd be a music teacher.
Yeah, no, that wasn't going to happen for you.
And I would see these kids. There were a lot of shows in the 90s that were kid stars, like Kids Incorporated, the Mickey Mouse Club, and I would watch that. I'm like, I'm going to do that.
Right. You knew you should be on there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning into If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss and our wonderful and fabulous guest, Mr. Jesse Lutrel.
Great conversation. So you knew this about yourself. Now, you also, along the way, you had started studying dance.
I did, and I started late. There was, I had a really shitty music teacher growing up who like did the school musicals. And she was an asshole. She was a total asshole. But there was this woman who would come in and be the choreographer for musicals, and she had a ballet school. Alicia Little is her name, and she ran the Enterline Performing Arts Academy. And she was really she had lived in New York City. She had done the thing.
She did the thing.
You know,
and you respected her. You knew she knew herself.
And she knew how to deal with me the way that the rural people didn't know how to.
Right.
And she pulled me aside. She's like, "You're fine. Don't worry about it. Just, do your thing. Come take class. You have to take class." Because it was late because I was going to audition for performing arts schools. I had not much dance training. So she's come on. So I went into classes with her, and I had feet and turnout and legs that I didn't know what that was supposed to be for. And she was like, well, this is going to come pretty quickly for you. And it did. And
that's what I figured, because it seemed it happened all very quick.
Right.
You don't look typically ballet when you meet you, and yet you had this intense dance background. So I'm like, he's gifted.
But I'm guessing that you probably had that natural ability. You just didn't have names for the footsteps.
And the technique and the way your muscles work.
Right, but you did have the ability.
So when you have we called it genetic destiny. I know that sounds really nuts.
Genetic destiny.
But dancers who are ballet dancers, in order to do it without getting hurt, and in order to really do it properly, you have to have turnout in your hips, and you have to have knees that straighten, and you have to have feet that point. You have to have strong ankles, and a lot of that you're either born with or you're not. Right. And I was born with all that. I didn't want to be a ballet dancer, but
if you want to be a triple threat, you need to have.
I trained in everything like I was going to do that.
Right.
I would take ballet class like I was going to be a ballet dancer. I took my voice lessons like I was going to be an opera singer.
Right.
Took my acting classes like I was going to do Shakespeare.
Right. Excellent.
Just so you're doing it like 120%.
And every one of those things you just mentioned are all the basis.
Of everything you do.
Performing. Any type of
performance. But what I'm getting, you were incredibly focused, and even what I've read about you now, incredibly focused, and yet. I know we had talked about ADHD.
Yeah.
So this is my whole point.
Right.
ADHD, really, look at how focused he is from the time he was a kid and the things that he got.
So the difference
if it was something that you're passionate about.
Well, so the difference is people with ADHD are really good at focusing on big picture stuff. Like we're really good at saying, I want to be an actor, or I want to do this. It's the little steps along the way and the little details that we completely cannot.
But it seems like from what you're telling us, you did get that. Okay. No. You did do the dance though. You know what you had to do for that.
But I couldn't pick up choreography.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like I had the technique and I had the body for it, and I was picking up the technique and my muscles were doing what they're supposed to do. But then when it came time to learn choreography, my brain would go,
this step, now this step, now this one, now that one.
Connect.
No, because our executive function, we can't turn off that creative part of our brain to focus on the executive function like neurotypical people do. So neurotypical people, you can watch a movie and you're in a daydreamy world and say, oh, wait, hold on. I have to go do the dishes.
Right.
Or I have to go write a check.
Right.
Right. And that's called neurotypical. I'm learning so much from Jesse.
So neurodiverse people who have ADHD, we can't do that switch. We don't have that switch. So we have no concept of time. So I'm watching a movie and I'm daydreaming about it and The dishes are sitting. The dishes are sitting there.
Right, it doesn't matter.
My guests come over. Oh, you have a lot of dirty dishes in your sink. Like it didn't. It didn't happen.
You know, for the people that are with people like that, like my husband Alan Kaplan, who does the lighting here. The day he's an artist, an amazing creative person, but the day has no beginning, no middle, no end. Right. When he eats, it's just like la da la da la. And I once said to his best friend, "Why is he like that?" And he said, "Alan's an artist. He's thinking about other things," which is exactly what you just described.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And that's why so many people with ADHD find themselves in the arts. And you said in tech as well, which is interesting.
Oh, they're crazy.
Because tech has a lot of detail to it. But when I first moved to the city, I designed Flash websites for extra money, which involves like scripting and code.
It does.
Wow.
And I got into that, and I was able to focus on that because it was very black. It was like this does this and this does this.
Right. And you put this with that, this will happen.
And I feel like that's maybe also why people who are neurodivergent might be into tech.
Wow. Good, really good point. Yeah, right.
The other thing about ballet is there are studies now that people who have ADHD benefit really good from training balance. It affects the part of your brain that
interesting, because you have
isn't that crazy?
So scientific.
So I was like, why did ballet come so quickly for me? And I felt like it influenced everything in my life in a way, and it was because of the balance training.
Wow.
Because it affects that part of your brain. It's so crazy.
Almost an equilibrium or something.
Yeah. So right. From balance training.
Wow.
Well, thank you for tuning into If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts, Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss, and our wonderful guest, the fabulous Jesse Lutrel. Now, Jesse, just a couple quick questions. One is that voice. Where did you get that voice? That beautiful baritone voice.
It is a baritone. It's a beautiful, rich voice.
Thank you.
Sexy as anything, too.
Oh, good. I like that. There aren't a lot of guys who have, I call it a thick voice anymore. Because people thick voice. Because people are trained to sing up here now, and you have to sing like you're talking. And
but you're already in here. I mean, it's all coming from down
here. So, I started as a boy soprano in church, and I was really loud. I had this really spinny, mature sounding soprano voice because my voice hadn't changed yet.
Right.
And the choir director was like, I'm going to train you. We're going to give you lessons. And I think it was just the way my rib cage was built and how big my lungs were.
It's all about the big lungs and rib cage.
Right.
It's big and thick.
It's big and thick. You're going to love it. And it's weird because it's definitely an opera voice or a voice that opera singers are like, why aren't you doing opera?
Right.
The way I hear it in my head, it's not big. And I remember my voice teacher going, the paint is literally
peeling off the walls.
And I'm like, but it doesn't, but I don't feel like it's big. Like, I don't feel like I'm being loud enough. I can't hear it. He's like, if you heard it, you'd be deaf.
Right.
Because your ears are here and your mouth is here. And if your ears were here, you'd be deaf. You're not going to hear it.
Your voice is booming. It booms.
Yeah.
No, but it's great.
Now, we have a video.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the video?
Oh, is this the music video?
That's your music video.
I don't know.
Yeah. So this is
Jesse sent a couple of things.
I did a music video to Live Until I Die, which a lot of people
I love the way you sing that song.
Seen me do everywhere.
Oh my God.
And we were, I don't know.
Dorothy's in this one.
Dorothy's in it.
Dorothy
Luther's in it. Martin Millet's in it.
Luther that got Tim thrown off of Facebook is in this video.
And Michael Musto's in it.
Oh my God.
And I called everyone in and I was like, come. And we did it at the Triad, which was great because, as a lot of people know, I started at the Triad and now we're doing my comeback
return to the Triad
next week. So this music video was that, and also it features Boudoir LaFleur when she first started her huge drag career.
She's very talented, though.
And she's a trained dancer. We met in dance class together in 2004.
You know Boudoir that well?
Oh yeah, my best friend, and she lived down the street from me in Astoria.
Oh nice.
Actually, we met at a Cats audition. That's what it was, and we were 2 of 3 people cut from the audition, and the 3 people were people who didn't usually get cut on the first cut.
Yeah,
so we had a little bit of an attitude about it, especially for Cats, because we were ballet dancers. And the other one was Sean Patrick Doyle.
Oh, Sean Patrick,
And we were like, what the hell was that? Why are we the ones that were cut? And so the three of us became friends, fast friends. Yeah. And Buddy lived near me and for years, so 20 years almost.
Oh, and so I wonder what happened to the three that they picked. Think about that.
That's exactly.
Right. Y'all are still here.
We're still here.
Take a look at Jesse Lutrel.
Yeah. Till I die, gonna laugh instead of cry. I'm gonna take this town and turn it upside down. I'm gonna live until I die. They're gonna say, what a guy. I'm gonna play for the sky. Ain't gonna miss a thing. I'm gonna have my fling. I'm gonna live until I die. The blues I'll lay low, I'll make them stay low. They'll never trail over my head. I'll be a devil till I'm an angel. But until then, hallelujah, gonna dance, gonna fly. I'll take a chance, riding high. Before my number's up, I'm gonna fill my cup. I'm gonna live until I die. The blues I'll lay low, I'll make them stay low. They'll never trail over my head. I'll be a devil till I'm an angel. Until then, hallelujah, gonna dance, gonna fly. I'll take a chance, riding high. I'm gonna take this town and turn it upside down. Ain't gonna miss a thing. I'm gonna have my fling. Before my number's up, I'm gonna fill my cup. I'm gonna live until I
Yes!
Oh, hell yes!
Wow,
that is what I'm talking
fierce.
About.
You are fierce. That's like,
and that voice.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Quite the voice.
I always do it in my show, so you'll see it next Saturday.
No, and also, okay, now your show. Let's talk a little bit about your show. Firstly, on piano is your longtime collaborator, Fred Barton.
Yeah, Fred.
Oh, he's amazing.
So Fred, for people who don't know Fred has done orchestrations for all the major pops orchestras in the country.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, including the New York Pops, and he's played with them at Carnegie Hall. And he's also worked on Broadway in the first revival of Cabaret with Joel Grey with Hal Prince. And then the tour that followed. And then he also worked with Anthony Quinn in Zorba.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And he worked with Cy Coleman on City of Angels.
Oh my God.
So
royalty.
I love Kendra.
And also I've seen you perform with his orchestra too,
right?
When he's had like, what is it, a 12-piece?
He's done anywhere between 7 and like, I think the highest was like 16.
Oh my God,
when we were at Pace.
How
what show did you do with him?
We've never done a musical together, but he did these band shows that started the Metropolitan Room, and then this producer came and saw it and moved it to the Schimmel Center at Pace University, which is a big theater. Where they filmed the actors inside the actor studio. And so the budget got bigger, so the band got bigger, and he got Broadway people to come. You know, people with Tony Awards. Beth Level did a few concerts with us.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really a great Christian Knoll, a really great experience, and he really knows what he's doing. And he knows the music really, like, he's very passionate about it.
And he is one I love to watch play the piano. He gets so into it. He feels every note.
Yeah, it's like the Nutty Professor.
Oh my God, I just love to
now
watch
I'm excited about seeing him as well.
Right,
because so he's like a show too.
You may see us do something together. We might be singing a song together.
Yes. That would be great. That would totally be great. So what made you decide?
Well,
go ahead,
but
Tim.
on your show on the 25th, which is at the Triad on the 25th, and is it Ovation Tix?
It's Instant
Tix, I think. Yes.
I believe it's, if you go to the Triad website, also
it's on there. It's
your viewers. There's a discount code.
Yes.
For your viewers, if you type in Wendy Walls, with the title of the show, so Wendy Walls, capitalized both W's, you'll get $5 off tickets.
Oh, sweet.
There are only about, I haven't checked in 2 days. Last time I checked, there were like 15 left.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
So buy them now.
Yeah, it's going to be such a fabulous show, and I mean, we are descending upon the Triad.
Yes, we've got a huge group of friends that are going to come in.
It's going to be so much fun.
So, real quick, what I wanted to ask you: why, at this point in your career, what was the thinking behind doing the show?
It was very weird because I hadn't done one in like 3 years in New York.
Since before the pandemic.
Yeah, and before that, I was mostly touring my show out of town because you get paid out of town.
Right, exactly.
You tour, you get paid.
Yeah, but the show I was doing was, like something I started when I was in my late 20s, so I had been growing up and like getting older,
show.
and filling out, getting some muscle, and getting a little more butch in my old age. And I wasn't going to do another solo act because I started doing musicals again. And I started playing all these roles.
Well, yeah.
And then I was doing yoga in the morning, which I do every day. And I always play, the opening clip of All That Jazz on Broadway, and they're doing the audition. Yeah. And so you know how YouTube automatically goes to another video after that,
right?
And it went to a video of a song that started playing, and I was like, this is an opening number. I'm going to do this.
Oh, that's how it started. It was an epiphany.
Yeah, I was like, I have a show. So like just this one song.
Right. I love it.
And it usually starts with an opening number for me.
The ADHD scene, the big picture.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
You should be a shrink. That is actually spot on, right? And the way it came to you.
But now also in this show, another person I absolutely love and adore, James Beeman.
Oh yeah, James.
I love
Jamie
him.
Is my director. I've never had a director for my solo acts because I'm just singing songs and I know how to act.
I don't need to be directed.
And I don't really like I didn't really like the thought of someone else being in control of anything.
Yeah, right.
But I said, this is a new show and I'm a new performer and people haven't seen me in a long time. So I need a third eye. To kind of like focus me and say that's not working or give me something
that's actually very evolved.
And
right
because but it's so important to have that third eye.
You have and the other thing about it that I like about James is he's not a no person. So like the worst thing teachers or directors tell performers is don't do that.
Right.
No.
Right.
You can't go out on stage or to a film shoot to not do something.
With a no.
Right.
You have to have something to do. So when you have a teacher or a director who's telling you try this, that's who you work with.
Exactly.
Never work or pay anyone who's going to tell you what not to do.
And what you're doing, you're surrounding yourself, and I'm sure, I don't know how long it took you to get to this point, but you're surrounding yourself with the yeses. You're surrounding yourself. You are now at the point in your career, and I know you know this instinctively, for you to move forward, you have to have your cachet of people around you.
Yeah.
They're all yeses. They'll say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't, there's no more time for the other ones.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you have to watch because there are so many Svengalis.
Oh.
And there are so many ass kissers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
AKs.
you're gonna piss people off.
Yep.
If you don't use them.
Right.
There are people I have never hired, never worked with, who are a little miffed that I've never asked them.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
And to that you just, you know.
Right.
Because you have to. It's a job.
It's a job. It's
and
a
you've
business.
Also,
It's a business. It's show
career.
business. It's
show
not
business.
show friends.
Right.
Yeah.
It is
Yes.
not show
Very
friends.
true.
It's
And
show
also,
business.
you have to remain true to yourself. To
Right.
Yes.
What you
that is the only way you get respect as an
Absolutely.
artist
Right.
is if you stay true to yourself.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's hard when you're younger because we're all people
Right.
pleasers.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, you have
When
to
you're
like
20.
me.
And please
When I was
like me,
20,
please
I was
hire
like,
me.
oh my
Yeah.
God, everyone's here, and I want you all to love me so much. Now,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're lucky that you learned this at 40.
Yeah.
Is all I can tell you because I know
Yeah.
a lot of actors 40 into 50.
I know once
like,
now or 60
yeah,
years
right.
ago.
That are like, oh, you have to really like me. Oh, do you really
Right.
like me? Right? And there's still people pleasing.
Absolutely.
You can't
All
do
right.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to If These Walls Could Talk with your host Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss and our wonderful
Yay.
guest, the fabulous Jesse Lutrel.
Kiss, kiss.
Now,
Why? Look how
as
short
we're-
I am next to you guys. 'Cause
That's
whenever I sit down, I'm always like hunched over.
Little Jesse is little Jesse.
I like it.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Jesse.
What is that character that Lily Tomlin used to do on the
Oh my
Big Bear?
God.
Edith
Edith
Ann.
Ann.
Little Jesse Ann with us today on the show.
Oh, now as we're closing this segment,
Mhm.
tell everybody about your show and how they can find out more about Jesse Lutrel. How can they find you?
You can go to the Triad's website. I think it's Triad NY or triadnyc.com. To get tickets and to read about the show, you can go to jessesings.com, JESSE sings.com to read more about me and look at pictures of me performing and playing all these crazy roles that I've played.
And
you have
in the after hours part of this show, we're going to talk about the shows that I saw him doing. Getting him back
Oh yeah,
into,
definitely.
him getting back into,
that you went to see him.
and I came to see.
Was it Boston or Rhode Island?
It was near Boston.
It was near Boston.
Well, it was near both.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, it's triadnyc.com. I was pulling it up. Yeah.
triadnyc.com.
Yeah.
And join all of us.
Yes,
to
we're
go
bling.
see Jesse Lutrel at the Triad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun. And it's my birthday.
Yes.
You can cry if you want to, but you're going to perform instead.
Thank you so much,
Thank
everybody.
you, everybody.
Yay.
Just hang on. We'll be right back.
Now that broadcast is out of the way. Now we still just keep rolling and chatting.
We just keep going,
now
and we have
disco ball comes
look
down.
at that disco ball comes in now. Now Jesse can hang from it. We have all the comments, Tim. Can you see the comments? I know. No, I have glasses for the comments.
Nick Lyon
Hi, Nick.
says hi everyone. Have a great show.
Sabine Marketing. Hello,
Teresa Sabine says have a great day, everyone.
Geo Michaels. Hello,
Where
darlings.
are
Hello, Geo.
Geo, where's Geo?
Geo is right up there. Yeah, in blue.
Oh, right there. Hello,
Geo's in
darlings.
blue. I have glasses.
Ikevelli.
Ikevelli says, love Jesse. Don't we all? Yes.
Right. And Jesse's coming to your show with Tim.
Scooter Pie, my friend from Michigan, has 2 hearts.
Ah.
Suze Velgenero from Massachusetts, not far from
a
there.
Chihuahua person also, and a wonderful designer.
And she's a designer. Incredible
Yes,
designer.
she just added me on Facebook and
Yeah.
she sent me a message. I'm friends with Wendy and we all have to be
but she does a lot of Ike's.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, is
good
she the one who
blend.
did the Christmas tree?
Oh
Yes,
my God!
yes,
that was amazing.
Yes.
I loved the Christmas tree.
Kobe Cole.
Kobe Cole says
Hi,
that
Kobe.
performance video was phenomenal.
Kobe
Bravo.
is a phenomenal
Kobe,
singer.
Is
thank you
he
for
the
tuning
most ridiculous
He's
voice?
One,
Oh my
Kobe's
God.
one of the best singers in New York.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Oh, a big one from Nick. Hold on. It's a paragraph.
He says, hey, good friends. Great show. Hey, Jesse. Can't wait to see you
next Thursday. I have a show related question. Jesse, are you going to be wearing any skimpy see-through outfits for your birthday show?
Like your birthday suit
yes,
for your birthday show.
Next Thursday at the Triad.
It's next Saturday.
No, Saturday at the Triad.
He said Thursday.
Yeah. Asking for a friend.
He asked KTT also.
And
he was asking
Nick,
for a
make
friend.
sure it's on your calendar for Saturday, not Thursday. I won't be ready.
Promoting.
I won't be ready on Thursday.
After all the promoting he's been doing.
I won't be ready on Thursday. So you might get some low cut, something like this.
Oh, and there's Emron. Hi, Emron. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, Emron says hi. Gio Michael says fantastic show.
We love Gio.
Suze General says, "Oh, thanks so much for all the shout outs
and for loving the Christmas. The Christmas tree was amazing.
The Christmas tree outfit. That was
amazing.
Everything.
That was epic.
Everything. So, we had went up to Providence, Rhode Island to do Lou.
Yeah.
You were in the Fringe, weren't you? The Providence Fringe?
Yes, in the Providence Fringe. Yeah, we did Lou. And Ike Avelli and his cousin Leanne was there. And so we all drove down because he had returned to the stage. This was after the pandemic.
Returned.
Jesse, you had not done a musical in how long?
Like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And right before the pandemic, I was supposed to play Gaston in Beauty and the Beast at this theater in Florida, but I tore my ACL in rehearsal.
Oh, right.
Went into surgery. As I came out of surgery, the whole world shut down.
Yes, then we go into
March
the pandemic.
of 2020.
So he basically had his hands on the role of Gaston in Beauty and the Beast, and then slipped through it.
Right.
And then this was his return, and we got to catch him on opening night. The mayor of the town was there.
I love it.
The crowd went just absolutely nuts. This production was insane. It was such perfection. It could have easily been on Broadway.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Wow.
It was high quality.
They spend money too.
Yeah.
That's New Bedford Festival Theater. Wendy Hall is the artistic director.
Yes. And the mayor's daughter, the mayor's wife and his daughter, after I said, "Oh yeah, I'm here to see my friend, he's playing Gaston," they were like, "Oh my God, tell him he's incredible. He's incredible."
New Bedford, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
they have Buco Bucks there. Wow.
But that's when I watching you on that stage, I was like, he's back. He's home.
I remember and Ike coming and I'm like, who's Jesse Lutrel? And you started to tell me, and I'm like, and then fast forward, like it seemed like you were everywhere in New York. Then I wasn't. It was crazy. What happened? Like you tore your ACL, and then the pandemic happens. What was your headspace like?
I was that emoji. It was hard. I was in a relationship at the time.
That blew up.
Right,
of course. Like, well, I guess I'm asking Jesse, what happens when the shit hits the fan? How do you keep going?
Because I don't know. It's hit the fan so many times. Right. Everyone has a sack of rocks, like Elaine Stritch always said.
I love it.
It's how you carry it that matters. So we all have to learn how to carry our sack of rocks. And at the time, my head was just going, I have 2 years to make sure I'm in the best shape when I get back on stage. And that's all that I kept up for 2 years.
Wow.
It was going through my head. And I was like, I'm doing Gaston as soon as this is over.
Right. Yes. You just kept your eye on the prize the whole time.
And I couldn't I couldn't walk for a month. So I'm like reading every book about acting and about theater that I could.
See, that's positive. That's
all have to be
energy.
Proactive.
Right. And very focused, by the way. You know, that you did that. You know, because a lot of people would have gone into a rock bottom depression.
Yeah, I mean that came and went
still
a little bit,
you were able.
And I did the opposite of everybody else. I stopped drinking. Like before the pandemic, I was out a lot, and I like my liquor. Everybody was like having their like cocktail parties on Zoom.
Right.
I like towards the end I started drinking again, but like the first like year I wasn't doing any of that. So I sobered up and my brain kind of went, okay, we're gonna rebuild.
Right. You knew what you needed to do.
Yeah.
You know,
no, that's taking that me time and working a positive.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. Absolutely.
So after that brilliant run in
New Bedford,
New Bedford, Massachusetts, of Beauty and the Beast, then you did another hard-hitting role where again you fell off of a
I died in both shows.
Wait, you died in
playing Sykes,
Bill Sykes
in Oliver.
Right.
Yes, which I could totally see you playing that role.
I love doing it. I love playing villains.
There's so much more fun.
And you know there's no such thing as bad people in the world. There's people who have had bad circumstances. And as an actor,
determine their behavior.
Yes, because a character is what you do. It's not like what you look like or whatever. Characters are their actions. And that's how we are as humans too. Like we can disguise ourselves in whatever way is possible, but Bill Sikes is evil because of what he does. In the part of Bill Sikes's life we see in Oliver. That's all we see.
His evil actions.
So the actor gets to fill in.
Fill in the blanks.
And that's the fun part about playing villains is how did he get to this? And I came up with, Nancy and I came up with all this stuff, all this backstory, and it was really
Can you tell us a little of it?
Well, I had, one of the things was that I said Bill Sikes had started as one of the orphans in Fagan's gang. And like the Artful Dodger. And when he was a kid, he killed one of the other kids.
So he had committed murder as a child.
He was a murderer
a child murderer. Wow.
So that influenced everything from then on, you know.
And in his developmental stages, killing was nothing new to him. He was literally a cold-hearted killer.
And something overtakes him and he couldn't stop himself.
I disagree with you though that there's no bad people in the world. I think there's some really horrible people.
There are some horrible people.
And it's not just they're horrible people and they just deserve to be
something
annihilated
to get them there unless they're psychopaths. Who have
which I know a couple of them.
we know a couple.
I've dated a couple.
I was gonna say, we're all in show business. We know a few narcissists.
There's a lot of people that are just
and the bad
horrific.
Seed.
That seed, the omen.
I do believe in the badness of people, and I believe in revenge.
So do I.
Not about forgiveness. No, and I'll lay that out there. And everyone knows I'm a very positive person, but man, do not cross.
You can forgive yourself.
I forgive
for seeking revenge after you get your revenge.
I love Jesse. And I forgive myself.
Hey, I'm Italian. We don't do the.
No,
we don't do the.
Tim,
It's
I knew
okay.
I would hit that chord in him. I know, right? What did they have? They used to have the eye. What did they call it?
The evil eye, the Malocchio.
The Malocchio. Malocchio. I remember.
There's an emoji for the evil eye now.
No, there is.
What is you know the evil eye thing you're supposed to wear for protection? It's like blue and white. There's an emoji for it. If you type in evil eye on your iPhone,
I'm totally going to do that when we're done. Well, I have to ask you, what appealed to you about the Phantom of the Opera?
Oh my God. So I think people who like Phantom, and there's so many people, it's the highest grossing form of entertainment that's ever existed.
It was everything.
The
emotional
and
levels
that character, and I think people who are attracted to that, because we don't know much about this character in the Weber version. We don't know anything about him. He just does this shit, and he's kind of mysterious, but he's othered.
He's othered, yes.
What do you mean othered?
He's in a basement, and he's disfigured, and he's not part of
society. He is,
and doesn't have to play by their rules.
And growing up in rural Pennsylvania with what I was dealing with,
you felt othered.
I was like, I feel like this guy in the basement. I remember like being in my bedroom listening to the cast recording and pretending I'm the Phantom and like acting it out and stuff. And I was like, this feels right. You know what I mean? And
I think that's why I asked you that. I knew you had an affinity for the Phantom, and I was wondering if it had anything to do with
totally.
You. Yeah.
Totally. And I think when you meet people who are huge Phantom fans,
as I am,
you can see that it's that character draws them in because you feel empathy for this guy.
I did.
Who doesn't do anything good in the musical. He doesn't do any, there's no kindness. He kills somebody. He's obsessed with her. And it's tragic.
It's so
and he disappears at the end.
Right.
But there's what is the redeeming quality? And all these people love this guy. It's because they can see without him saying it to the audience or projecting it, what he's been through. And why
he's always on the he's outside looking in.
Always.
And it's at the end of the show. He has one line that's something like, "You could see this face that earned a mother's fear and loathing."
Wow. Yeah, the mother courted him and everyone. You feel sorry for him. You end up feeling really sorry for him. I mean, I remember doing
just the outcast of society.
So you might get some Phantom in my show.
Oh my God. That one song was da 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 da. What is that song?
Music of the Night.
Yeah.
So I'm a little psychic.
That was actually one song I was thinking we could do together.
Oh, that was
we could. Yeah, we could totally do it.
I'm a little psychic, and I pulled that out of your head.
You pulled it right out.
Yeah, I did pull that right out. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Just
wait. I'm very excited. That's it's like I just can't wait.
So do you have any plans after the tryout? I know this is your total focus right now, but
so I've been interviewing
more theater, more.
Yeah, I've been interviewing with talent agents, theatrical agents all week. So I'm making a decision this week and signing with one.
Oh, good! Congratulations.
Thanks. And you need them now to get in the door, which is such a pain in the ass.
I'm finding that out.
It's like we used to be able to just show up, and now it's all this.
That is exactly what I'm working on, because I'm not going to get off of the level I'm on.
You need someone.
Yeah, we've had this discussion.
Exactly where I'm
we
at.
have to do that.
I need to get representation.
Yep. Yeah. And so getting representation, because I know there's people watching this who are in the performing arts. The thing about it is, it's better to not have it than be with the wrong person.
Right.
Than be with someone who's not excited to help you out. You know what I mean? You don't want that. And if you get rejected by an agent, it's not because you're not marketable. It's not because you're not talented. They have someone on their roster who already fits what you, and then you'd be competition. You'd be
well, hold on, Jesse. You know? I've heard that too.
Yeah.
And I get that, but I'm sorry. I say this all the time. There's nothing that qualifies a person to become an agent. A doctor has to go to medical school.
Right.
A lawyer has to go to law school. I'm not saying there's some terrific agents out there that I've had that, and that currently have few people I'm working with that are amazing.
Yeah.
But then there's everybody else. And I've also had the everybody else. And I'm like, who told you should be in this business?
Right.
Representing talent when you're so frustrated.
That's the thing.
And you have to watch
need someone who loves it and
who loves the business.
Getting somebody work, who loves all of that hustle.
Because basically what I'm looking for is someone to make money with.
Right.
That's somebody who wants to make money, sees my talent.
Yep.
And knows that, hey, I can make money with this.
It's a team.
That's what
it's a team, right? Exactly. Exactly.
Well, and you have to go into it with the attitude of, I'm an asset. And this person works for me, or they don't. You know what I mean? It's not. It's never like, oh, you know.
Please hire.
Please. Then they're not going to sign you.
Yeah. It's meeting people now has become hard. I'm out a lot. That's how I do it, because connecting with an agent or a casting director on Zoom. I do it because I have to, but I really don't think for many of us, it's not going to show the dimension of who I am or what I'm about, or the electricity.
Not on a screen.
That when you walk into the room, and it's what everyone is using now.
Yeah. And you can say, for one thing, if you're auditioning for film and television, fine, but you don't get to feel that energy of what it's going to be like to actually work with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, video auditions.
I hate them.
I do too.
And you know me, I have a big voice and a big personality. So squeezing, and I audition for theater. I don't really audition
Oh my God.
And so squeezing, especially the characters I audition
for. Those bigger than life
How do you do that?
I don't know. I have no idea. And I try, and my thing is now they're doing is for theater. They're getting back in the room.
They are,
You need an agent to get you in the room.
Right.
So so after I sign with an agent, I don't have plans in the spring yet. But I'm going back to New Bedford to do Joseph, and I'm playing the Pharaoh.
Oh my God!
Which is like the Elvis-y
road trip.
Definite road trip. And you're not far from Littleton. My niece is in Littleton.
So
I know where you are.
And it's a nice place in the summer. Like there's seafood.
It's great. No, but great. Listen, as performers, you have to. But you brought out a good point. You felt like between the pandemic and that you were on the road doing shows, it's great. You were working. Puts you out of the loop. How do you get back in the loop? What is the perfect balance, right, of doing the shows in New York, shows on the road? How do we make that work? So, and that's the challenge.
Yeah, and so like for me, there's a season. So there's a season of fall musicals, and then there's spring musicals, and then there's the summer. And the summer's the big season. That's where I work every year when I'm auditioning in the summer, because that's when summer stock happens. Right. It's harder to get jobs in the fall because it's usually on a theater season. It's like maybe one musical they have on their season. So there's some stuff in the spring. But So this fall, I was up for guest on at like 5 theaters.
How funny is that?
They called me back. I didn't get any of them, and I was very mad. And I'm the kind of Italian that looks up the guy who got it over me.
Yeah,
and they had all done the role before at like big theaters or on Broadway, but like they'd done it multiple times. I was like, okay, so the casting director knows the guy. It's whatever.
Exactly.
But that is it a lot of the time,
right? Yeah, so those were my call, and I was so busy with all those callbacks, I didn't audition for much else. I ended up with nothing, and that's when like it popped in my head. I was going to work on a solo act. I got to do something. I can't just sit around.
Jesse, you brought up a very big pitfall in our industry. You're out, you're auditioning for this, that, and the other. Yeah. You're qualified for all of it. You don't get it for whatever reason, and then you're left without anything. Yeah. That is the hard part of our industry.
We have to create our own work.
Always.
In that
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise you get rusty.
Right. And you got to get up, wipe, dust yourself off and keep
start all over again.
Well, Jesse, you are doing all the right things.
Yes,
you really are.
When do
You're
you
taking the right steps, evolving and moving
Thanks,
ahead.
Mom and Dad.
Proud of your son.
I think you guys are a little younger than.
Thank you, Jesse. You just redeemed yourself. That, and if you're singing that favorite song of mine, you're totally redeemed.
Yes, I am. I'm singing it. I'll dedicate it to you.
So be sure to come and see Jesse Lutrel at the Triad Theater. Go to Triad NYC. TriadNYC.com.
There are 15 tickets or so left.
Great.
Well, there's probably only going to be about 12 after tonight.
And when they go to the Triad site to get the $5 off, tell everyone what the discount is. It's Wendy
Walls.
Wendy Walls.
Wendy Walls.
Wendy Walls. That sounds
so intimate and personal.
Sounds a little personal.
It does. He didn't even ask permission. Did it?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh my God, this has just been wonderful.
I have so much fun with you guys.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Jesse Lutrel. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in
today. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.
Yeah.
Thank you.